According to the United States Surgeon General, about 1 in 2 adults in America reported feeling lonely. This was even before the pandemic. But you chose to be alone. You closed the door, put your phone on silent, and sat down at the kitchen table. For the first time all day, your shoulders dropped. You did not feel rejected. You did not feel empty. You did not feel like something was wrong with you. And that is the part people do not understand. Most people see someone doing things alone and immediately panic for them. Eating alone, walking alone, thinking alone, making decisions alone. They assume you must be sad. They assume you must be hiding pain. They assume you are waiting for someone to rescue you from your own company. But what if your alone time is not the place where you fall apart? What if it is the place where your mind finally starts working properly? Over the next 8 minutes, you will understand why some people become clearer alone. You will understand why solitude can be a sign of mental strength, and why the world keeps trying to make quiet people feel guilty for needing space. And if this already feels a little too accurate, do not scroll away. Stay with that feeling. That small relief in your chest is not random. It is recognition. But where did your mind learn that silence was safer than noise? You were not always like this. There was a time you answered fast. You showed up tired. You stayed in conversations after your energy was already gone. You were the calm one, the helpful one, the person who said, "No, it is fine," even when it was not fine. You went to birthdays you did not want to attend. You sat through dinners where nobody asked one real question. You laughed because silence would have made the room uncomfortable. And afterward, you came home feeling like you had worked a shift no one paid you for. Then something changed. You started noticing patterns. Your body relaxed when plans got canceled. Your mind got clearer when nobody needed anything from you. Your best ideas did not come in the middle of the group. They came later, when you were alone, washing a cup. They came when you were walking down the street or sitting in your car before going inside. And one day you did not pick up the phone, and the world did not end. It got quieter. Psychologists Edward Deci and Richard Ryan described self-determination theory. In simple words, people feel better when they have autonomy, when their actions feel chosen instead of forced. Your mind does not only need connection, it also needs to feel like your life still belongs to you. That is why solitude can feel like air. Not because you hate people, not because you are cold, but because too much noise makes it hard to hear your own signal. And once you hear that signal clearly, you start doing certain things alone. Most people cannot do those things without an audience. First, you think before you ask. Something goes wrong. A message sounds strange. Someone changes their tone. A plan falls apart. Most people instantly open a chat and send screenshots. They need a reaction before they even know what they think. You do something different. You put the phone down. You walk around the room. You let the first wave pass. Then you ask yourself, what actually happened here? You may tell yourself you are slow to ask for help, but actually, you are refusing to outsource your first thought. The price is that people may think you are distant because they only see the silence. They do not see the work happening inside it. Second, you process feelings before you perform them. Someone hurts you in a small way. They answer coldly. They forget something that mattered. They make a joke that lands too close. You do not immediately turn it into a scene. You go quiet first. You ask yourself, am I angry or am I embarrassed? Am I disappointed or did this touch something older? Am I reacting to them or to a pattern I have seen too many times? You may tell yourself you are overthinking, but actually, you are learning emotional accuracy. The price is that by the time you explain what you feel, other people may already assume you felt nothing. Third, you have rituals nobody knows about. Maybe there is a walk you take when your mind gets loud. Maybe you clean your desk before making a decision. Maybe you sit in the same chair with no music for a few minutes before the day starts. Nobody told you to do it. Nobody praises it. It just helps you come back to yourself. You may tell yourself it is strange, but actually, you are building a private structure for your inner life. The price is that it can look boring from the outside. And people who need constant stimulation often mistake peace for emptiness. Stop. Before we go further, everything you have heard so far is not a compliment in pretty packaging. These are real adaptations of your psyche. Because sometimes the person who works best alone did not become that way by accident. Sometimes they learned it after being interrupted too many times. Sometimes they were misunderstood too many times. Or they were pulled into rooms where they had to shrink to be accepted. Fourth, you make big decisions without needing a crowd. You may listen. You may collect advice. You may ask someone you trust what they see. But when the decision is serious, you know there is a point where nobody else can carry it for you. The job you leave, the relationship you stop chasing, the move you make, the boundary you finally say out loud. You can gather information from other people, but you cannot let them become the owner of your life. You may tell yourself you are stubborn, but actually, you know the difference between guidance and permission. The price is that when the choice hurts, you cannot hide behind the group. You have to stand inside your own decision. Fifth, you enjoy your own company without needing to defend it. You can eat alone and not feel punished. You can walk alone and not feel incomplete. You can spend a quiet evening without turning it into a sad story for someone else to approve or fix. You are not waiting for the room to fill up before the moment counts. It already counts because you are there. You may tell yourself that makes you hard to understand. But actually, it means you stop treating yourself like someone you have to escape from. The price is that some people will only believe you are okay if they see you surrounded. But here is where solitude can turn against you if you are not careful. But here is where it gets complicated. Solitude can make you clear. It can make you calm. It can help you hear yourself again. But it can also become a place you hide inside. At first, you choose silence because you need to think. Then you choose silence because explaining feels exhausting. Then, if you are not careful, you start calling every vulnerable moment unnecessary. You stop texting first. You stop telling people when you are not okay. You stop letting anyone sit close enough to see the parts of you that are still unsure. And you tell yourself, I am just independent. Maybe you are. But maybe independence has become the cleanest word you have for fear. So here is the line. Loneliness is being unseen when you need connection. Solitude is stepping away so you can return as yourself. That sentence matters because it gives you a test. When you leave people and feel more like yourself, that is information. When you leave people because being known feels dangerous, that is also information. This is not only for introverts. It is not only for quiet people. It is for anyone who has ever sat in a full room and felt their real self disappear under the performance. The goal is not to become unreachable. The goal is to stop abandoning yourself just to be easy for other people. So the final question is not, should I be alone or with people? The real question is, who helps you stay yourself when the room gets loud? If you are watching this and wondering if something is wrong with you, hear me. You are not antisocial. You are not broken. You are not failing because you do not want constant company. You are someone whose mind gets clearer when it has room to breathe. And yes, relationships matter. The Harvard study of adult development has followed lives for more than 80 years. One of its clearest findings is that good relationships are strongly tied to health and happiness. But the key word is good, not constant, not crowded, not performative. Good. A loud room that makes you disappear is not better than a quiet table that brings you back. So if your circle got smaller but calmer, you are not doing this wrong. If your weekends became quieter but more honest, you are not behind. If you need time alone before you can show up fully, that is not a defect. That is maintenance. The point is not to worship solitude. The point is to stop apologizing for the kind of solitude that makes you more real when you return. Keep the quiet that keeps you whole. And if this gave you the permission you did not know you needed, press the button below whose name I will not even say. You know which one. Write one word in the comments. What does solitude give you?